back in the garage after a few days away with work, and I thought I'd give you a catch up. I've got the gear stick and mechanism mounted. As you can see, it's on under there as well. I had to redo the brackets. Here's a picture of those. And if you can see there, that's the starter button, and I've had to turn that round 90 degrees because it was like longitudinally across the car before, which meant that the outside bolt that the cable's fastened to was really close to where the exhaust is, and the exhaust is going to try and fit in that little gap there. It's not a straight shot down from here past it because this has got a bend on it, so this is going to have to be recut. But I have found a section of pipe, which is this one here, which has the bend on it for going around the gear change housing on a later model car. So I'm going to try and fit that and adapt it to that wide piece and try and work out what I'm going to do with that lambda boss as well, because at the moment, as I've said previously, it's right in the way for hitting those linkage rods. So that's this weekend's plan. It's Saturday afternoon. This morning we spent looking at the Poolie Porsche outside, so now time to start looking at the Mini again. Okay then, Sunday afternoon, just been watching the last Grand Prix of the season, so no work on the car this morning. Last bit of footage you've seen was me welding the Y piece, which I'll show you next. So there's the Y piece extending back down towards the linkage, and if it'll focus, yeah, the plan is to see that section there. I'm going to cut that off from halfway along beside the gear change housing where this piece is straight, and have it come straight along and into the Y piece here. I've already tested it with a short section of straight in the Y piece, and it does go down to there. But before I do that, I need to go to the far end of the car and put the rear silencer back on, roughly in position, so I can make sure this piece fits into the rear silencer at the back, and then I know exactly where to cut it and then join it into this piece in here. Well, that's the exhaust in place. You can sort of see there's the end. I'll put that in. Just by my finger there is the end of the Y piece. Just there. Slightly out of focus. There's the new section I welded in, going down to, that's pretty much where that bend is there. And then the lambda is going to have to go in that side, which is going to be in there at an angle like that, heading up behind the gear linkage there. I've got tons of length on the cable, so I'll just run it along the steady rod, down the back of the gearbox, along the steady rod, and then round the edge of the housing to the lambda, and I'll make sure the wires are all clipped down so they can't move and catch anything. Right, so that's the position marked for the lambda boss. So I'm going to cut a hole in the pipe and weld that in, just like that. Okay then, Monday lunchtime progress report. Finished off that exhaust last night, as you've seen in the previous clips. Chucked a bit of paint on a few parts where I've done some welding, especially on the stainless steel section, because I've only got non-stainless welding wire. It wasn't pretty, but it was all functional welding, did the job, did what it needed to do. Had a few issues, it kept running out of gas, which didn't help. A few technical issues, but never mind. So Y piece is on, 2 clamps there, and it's fastened in that section there where it joins the stainless with one of those Michelor type clamps, because there's very little room. If I can try and shine the light on it, if you can see in that side there's very little room between the underside of the car and the exhaust. Not really enough room to get a round style U-bolt clamp like that one at the far end, like that one. So as you can see, it clears nicely in there. There's a couple of mil either side. That rubber boot that looks as though it's really close, just in there, it's just hanging down a little bit. It just needs a tie wrap to hold it on properly, and it'll have a bit more clearance, but there's a few mil clearance to the bolt head there anyway, on the other side of the on the linkage housing. And then down to the back end, I've got it fastened on there. I might try and rotate that clamp once I get it running, etc. I'd like it to be more out of the way than that, because there's not a lot of point in having a nice little skid plate on the exhaust back box when you've got that bit hanging down. So might be able to rotate it round so that the bolts are facing towards the passenger side of the car. And then obviously I painted the back box as well, where it had been scratched and was coming up rusty. So next job, it'll be to connect up that lambda wire. You can see it hanging there, running it along the underside under here to the cable which is hanging down there. It's that one. Wherever it goes, it's just lying down there. Tidy it all up, cut off the wires that are hanging underneath the cable ties, and then look at getting this side drive shaft in, which is the one that's still not wanting to go in. You can't really see it, but it's all not in yet. And then once that's popped in, I can put some oil in it and then set the tappets, and then we can go for a first start.